Welcome to this installation and configuration course of WebPort, where we will learn the basics of how to install and configure WebPort. The training builds to some extent on the first beginner course in WebPort. Now, the focus is on setting up the functions that we learn to use there. We will begin the training with a brief overview of the WebPort architecture. Then, we will look at WebPort's object standard, which largely governs how to work with WebPort, before finally moving on to the main part of the training, which is carried out in WebPort. There, we will demonstrate how to install and configure WebPort functionality. WebPort is built on the .NET framework and uses an embedded SQL database as the default, but it also provides the option to use external databases such as MS SQL. In addition to the embedded database, WebPort also has a built-in web server, which means that the only thing needed to install on the server side is the .NET framework and WebPort's own installation file. WebPort's web database is built entirely on HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript, supported by almost all browsers and devices. Thus, on the client side, there is no need to download any plugins or special clients. WebPort supports connection to devices via the most common protocols on the market. And of course, it has a long list of features that are constantly expanding. WebPort is designed to run on both PLC and panel PC. Hence, it has been tailored with very low system requirements. On the software side, only Windows 7 or later versions and .NET 4.8 are required. Similarly, on the hardware side, the system requirements are minimal. WebPort Object Standard governs in many ways how one works with WebPort, and therefore, we will revisit it several times during the training. What we are currently going through is the standard or symbol library that comes with a basic installation. However, there is also the possibility to build your own, completely customized symbol libraries. Based on one of WebPort's many drivers, you can create one or multiple devices, often then representing a PLC or a duck. For example, a heating system here referred to as VS01. Following that, you build tag lists which are saved in CSV format within WebPort. Each row represents a tag with a prefix, often in the form of system name _ object name. Here's an example: VS for heating and System 01 and GT11 for supply air temperature. Then, you conclude with a suffix indicating the type of tag it is. Here's an example: PV represents a present value, and AL represents an alarm. On the process page, you then create objects, for example, VS01 GT11, where you also specify a prefix filter within the object. In this example, it's the same name as the object itself, namely VS01 GT11. Then, all tags with the prefix VS01 GT11 are linked to this object, automatically bringing up all present values, set points, and alarms. A final brief of what I'm going to demonstrate in WebPort. First, I'll install WebPort and then go through the directory structure and license management. After that, we'll create a process page, set up communication and EO devices. Then, we'll build tag lists and link tags to dynamic objects. After that, a review of alarm settings, and then I'll demonstrate how to set up a central time schedule in WebPort. Finally, I'll conclude with permission rights management and other system settings.